Hello, boys. It's my pleasure to welcome you to one of the most extraordinary years of your life. Within the last few months, we've experienced pandemic-induced economic and educational shutdown that caused us to pause. Then we experienced protests against racial injustices that caused great energy. And these two ingredients have created these extraordinary days and extraordinary opportunities to excel. Now, this school year will start like no other in our 90-year history. We will be limited by health precautions, and we'll take our time understanding the best way to teach and learn during a pandemic. But this is not a bad thing. Instead, it's a great opportunity to excel. Let me explain. The Catholic high culture is built on many things, but we're going to concentrate on two here at your freshman orientation. The first is self-advocacy, and the second is brotherhood. First, self-advocacy. As a school, we allow boys the opportunity to walk in on their own 2 feet. We allow boys the opportunity to make mistakes and learn from them. We allow boys to thrive by their own doing, and this is the secret to our success, the secret to our graduate success. Nothing is freely given at Catholic High. Nothing is freely given except opportunity. Everything else is earned. You see, as a school, we have a strong desire to drown-proof our boys on their way to adulthood. We can do so by keeping them away from the waters of challenge, or we can keep those waters so shallow that you never go under, or we can teach you how to swim, how to navigate the challenges of life. Now, boys, let me tell you something. Here, you're going to receive swim lessons every single day. We provide those swim lessons here, and that means that you take care of your business, that you take care of your responsibilities, that you learn to advocate for yourself, that you make sure you are doing everything possible to grow and to learn. So self-advocacy is important. And then we go to brotherhood, this word that you're going to hear so many times in your experience here. It means that we believe in a culture of belonging regardless of superficial differences. Our culture is based on overcoming challenges together and working for something greater than the individual. There are no half-brothers here. There are no partial brothers here. You will understand that you are in this, we are in this all together. Never before have these two characteristics, self-advocacy and brotherhood, been more evident or more needed than this coming school year, and especially in this freshman class. You will need to advocate for yourself, and we will help you along the way. You will experience and embrace the finest aspects of brotherhood, and it will be available regardless of what our first few weeks may look like. Now, parents, when your boys start here, they will be treated with respect, and they will be afforded the dignity that comes from soft failures. When things don't go right, we'll help them figure out how to turn it around. Now, as parents, you will not be expected to provide 24-hour roadside assistance. You'll enjoy the freedom that comes from your son learning. You will bask in the growth that comes from your son doing things for himself on that path to adulthood. The Catholic High experience is unique in Central Arkansas. It's meant to build up. It's meant to create. It's meant to store up the confidence necessary to succeed as a man. So, boys, high school is transformative. You will see some of the greatest changes in yourself during the next 4 years. Embrace the challenges that are before us, especially this year. Make yourself work, persevere, and problem solve. At the end of 4 years, we want you to be on our graduation stage exhausted from the pride that you feel in all that you accomplished. We want you to magnify the best qualities of your parents. We want you to learn to swim. And so now I'm going to turn the microphone over to our class officers this past year who are going to explain a little bit about the Catholic High experience and what you can expect and offer their best recommendations. We will start with Grant Smithson.
Hi guys, I'm Grant Smithson. I was honored to be the Vice President of the class of 2020, and I'm happy to be here speaking with you today. I titled my speech, What It in all caps, means to me. A few days ago, for the first time in weeks, I finally drove back to Catholic High's campus due to COVID-19 keeping us away. The reason for the trip was to grab a yard sign that Mom bought for me that said, "Congrats, graduate," and see the one and only Brother Richard. As I turned left onto 6300 Father Tribou Street, I found myself almost running over the curb. Why, might you ask? Well, I was staring at Roy Davis Field, thinking one question to myself. If I had one word to describe this place, what would I use? I came to a pretty quick answer: home. Let's start from the beginning. My CHS journey started well before my freshman initiation pep rally. It began while I was attending Literate Christian Academy, and my brother was currently a junior at the same school. Every day up till this point, I drove less than a mile to school and honestly lived in a bubble. During that time, I had all of my brother's friends jokingly harassing me for even thinking and considering Catholic High. On the other hand, my neighbor, Seth Vandover, had recently made the same switch I was considering making. Seth was a sophomore at CHS, but prior to that time, Seth would come down and play basketball, front yard football, and video games with me and my brother almost every night after school. But once Seth started at Catholic, that all stopped. The reason behind it was because Seth spent most of his nights now studying and preparing for the next school day at Catholic High, which to an 8th grader sounds terrible. However, I decided to take a different thought process and to think of Seth's newfound work ethic that Catholic High instilled in him as impressive. As an 8th grader, it was eye-opening to me to see how much fun Seth was now having, and at the same time seeing him come home on Friday nights from Friday night games at War Memorial, and to hear his stories of CHS pep rallies really got me excited. It's important to note that I didn't have the tradition in my family that so many have enjoyed. In fact, the name Smithson had never been on a class picture in the hallways at Catholic High. We all know that's not very common. CHS is heavily passed down from generation to generation, which is a good thing. For me, the transition was not the easiest to make by any means. But from my very first day, I knew it was the right one. Yeah, there's the fact that the pep rallies are crazy, there's intramural basketball games, and there's ever important can drive madness. But all of these wonderful transitions weren't the reason I knew for sure I had made the right decision. But it was when I saw the seniors lead the alma mater, Father Fred lead Mass, and Mr. Stracely giving us our auditorium freshman handbook talk for the first time that I knew. It was the fact that these examples and more showed me how much pride the administration and my upperclassmen at the time took into everything they did every day. Pride, a pretty common word in the English language, is one we all know, but pride in itself isn't special. What is special is the fact that pride must come from something greater, something that brings a group together from all different walks of life and makes them all one. This pride was on full display every single day I attended Catholic High, but it came full circle for me on a night that I didn't expect it would. This night was the famed alumni dinner, and because I had the honor of being a class officer, I was able to attend the dinner. Honestly, I thought this night was just going to be a way to give back to my school, but it was anything but. In true Catholic High fashion, it gave back to me. There was alumni in attendance from the class of 1945 to the class of 2013. Every single one of the men I witnessed had something in common, the fact that they had gone through the Catholic High experience. At one point in the night, they honored famous alumni Stephen Oswald from the class of 1988. He was the first Rocket who had attended all 4 years of Catholic High in a wheelchair. Unfortunately, Stephen is no longer with us, but watching his classmates tell stories of physically carrying him and his chair up and down the stairs every single day, and hearing them tell of how Stephen wasn't a burden to his classmates, but in fact was a leader, because while his classmates had to help him around physically, he was mentally helping them get away from the stress of Catholic High academics by making them laugh till they cried every single day. When the stories finally ended, I saw every man in that building get up to his feet, no matter his age, no matter his relationship with Stephen. They were all clapping because they knew that Stephen was what Catholic High stood for. To me, though, these men had just confirmed what I already knew, and that was the fact that Catholic High is different, it's special, it's home. I now find myself moving on to the next stage in my life, and although I hate that I have to leave a place that I love, I'm excited that I already have a leg up on all of my peers moving forward. I cannot wait to take on the task of spreading Catholic High to others that cross my path throughout my life. Because believe me, being a Catholic High Rocket doesn't stop when you get your diploma, and only begins. Because I firmly believe that if there was just a little bit more Catholic High out there, the world would be a better place. Thank you. And now it is my honor to introduce the guy that beat me out for the presidency, Mr. Jack McGee.
Well, thank you, Grant. Hello, gentlemen. I'm Jack McGee, and I'm the student body president here at Catholic High. Soon, you'll hear from Gabe, and he is the other student body officer here, and we are responsible for all the fun things that go on in this place, such as dances, pep rallies, intramurals, and a lot more. We're super excited to talk to you today about Catholic High and what this next year, and really these next 4 years, what they're going to mean to you. It was only 4 years ago that we were right where you are now. And I was curious about everything. What's up with the haircut? What's up with no girls? What's the brotherhood all about? And well, I'm going to give you my side about it for a little bit. I remember my first day with a new haircut and my polo short sleeve shirt. I was pretty glad I didn't have to strap on a tie or a button down that day. I was a little nervous, something that many of you will feel. I just didn't know what to expect, really. I didn't come from a private school like Holy Souls or Christ the King, IC, etc., etc. So therefore, I didn't know a lot of people. And I was nervous, but that first day, I met some of the best guys ever. Guys like Grant from the football team and Gabe from all of our fun adventures in Mr. Mazzery's homeroom. These are the friends I'm going to have in my life forever, and I'd do anything for them. I bet they'd do the same for me, too. Throughout the weeks, I just began to meet everyone else in the school, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for my classmates, who are my brothers, and you will, too. You're going to make the greatest memories here together and have the time of your lives. This school is a very special place, and the friendships that you make within these walls will grow stronger through the years. Catholic has made such a change in my life. The discipline and strict rules that I heard about and feared were something I never should have worried about at all, and I grew to like them. Here at Catholic, the rules are clear, and as long as you just stay between the lines, you're going to do just fine. The friends you make and the times you create here are your journey. So take advantage of all the friends, the excellent teachers, and all the activities that are at this school. Take them up while you can. Your teachers here are the best you could ever learn from, I promise you. You'll find that they really want you to succeed, and they will help you every single step of the way, but all you have to do is just ask. Freshman year, teachers like Coach Owen and Miss Head, they were always around whenever I had questions or I didn't get something. They were there to make sure that I would succeed, and they were with me every step of the way. Your journey here at Catholic will be yours, and basically, it's an individual experience. But it's also one that's done with all these new brothers that you have. Your class will make its own memories and have its own tradition. So get ready. Starting on the 17th, Your rocket takes off. It's going to be the best ride of your life. I cherish the times at CHS and the good it's given me, and that's why I'm so excited for all of y'all, the class of 2024. I wish you the best, and if your experience is anything like ours, which I promise you it will be, it'll be the time of your life. Thank you, go Rockets, and it is my privilege to present to you the one and only Gabriel Rodgers.
Hello, parents and future students of Catholic High. My name is Gabriel Rodgers, and before I get started, I want to explain why my setting looks a little bit different than Jack and Grant's and why I'm not in uniform. So I'm actually a farmer, and 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I work and live in Stuttgart. I'm actually filming this inside of a tractor right now. I'm in the middle of a work day, so we're all just we're throwing it all in there, making everything work. So I'm a student body officer along with Jack and Grant, and I'm the secretary and treasurer of the student body. Basically what that means is all I did is I won third place. No, I'm just kidding, guys, but in all seriousness, it's an honor to be talking to you guys today. I do wish we were meeting in person so I could get a feel for the crowd entering these halls in just a few short weeks. I'm sure y'all are going to be a great class, though. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lecture y'all, but I will offer some advice considering that I've been there, done that as far as Catholic High experience goes. Now, when I was a freshman, I had no idea what to expect for the next 4 years of my life in this school. I was finally starting to grow up and find my purpose, but I was extremely scared about being in a whole new place with new students, new teachers, and new classes. There were so many things being thrown at me at once. I know you, as well as your parents, may be stressing about entering a new environment, but that is why I am here right now to let you know that everything's going to be fine. After 4 years, you'll leave the school knowing that you have matured into someone that is prepared for taking that next step in life. Whether it be college or entering the workforce or going to a trade school, I promise you're going to be prepared. And one of the most important things in high school is to always get your work done on time and set a solid foundation for the rest of your high school experience. Sometimes managing time can be difficult, especially if you play sports, stay after school, or join clubs. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're cramming the night before to finish all your homework or study for a test. I've tried this method, and it never ends well. You'll save yourself a lot of stress and anxiety if you get your work done as soon as possible, not at the last minute. It's definitely a good idea to get a planner of some sort to keep yourself on track. It'll help you stay on top of your assignments and will give you satisfaction when you can go through and cross those things off your list. That is one of the very, very valuable things Catholic High will teach you, and that is time management. Another thing that is important in high school is to be accepting of everyone and to know who your true friends are. Don't expect to keep the same friends all throughout high school. You'll keep, gain, and lose some. When you grow up and leave for college, it's important to have friends that you can come home and visit with and hang out with, and just those guys that you can always rely on and that'll always be there. So in high school, there's always going to be cliques and friend groups and all that. Some of them won't be the nicest people, but it's important to make sure that whoever you're friends with is someone that you're proud to say is your friend. Don't be friends with someone. Don't stay in a friend group just because they're cool or you want to fit in or anything like that. You need to be yourself and find the people who make you happy. Having good friends throughout your 4 years here at Catholic High will pay off in the long run. You won't look back at yourself years from now and be disappointed with your choices. Additionally, another important thing to do in high school is get involved. You should all push yourself outside of your comfort zones. Join an interesting club like Mu Alpha Theta or Young Politicians. Try out for a sports team. Most importantly, take advantage of the new curriculum that all of you have access to this upcoming year. If you don't push yourself to try new things, you'll only be holding yourself back from finding something that you might love. By forcing yourself out of your comfort zone, you will be able to make new friends, learn new things, and maybe even develop a different outlook on life. Now, all in all, high school takes up a major part of your life. You're just starting to mature and you're just starting to be exposed to what life is like in the real world. When you step foot into this school in August, don't be afraid of what's ahead. Be proud. Getting through Catholic high school will not be easy. I'm not going to lie to y'all about that. Catholic is tough. But I know every single one of you has the ability to work hard and be successful. And there is no better support group than your brothers at Catholic High and the faculty. Just remember the most important thing to do not only in high school, but throughout your entire lives is be yourself. I wish you all the best of luck. Class of 2024, make it unforgettable. Thank you.
Thank you, boys, for coming up on a summer day to help us with our freshman orientation meeting. Now, parents, we have covered most of this material with you already, but it does bear mention to keep going through it. and explain the material a little bit further. So let's go to the entrance exam scores. You're welcome to pause this video now and go find your son's entrance exam, or you can just listen to what I have to say. Now, Catholic High accepts boys from 22 different junior high schools throughout Central Arkansas. And of course, each school has differing grading scales and prerequisites for promotion. And so we need a benchmark, a baseline for equalizing all of those differences, a foundation to equalize those discrepancies. And so that's what the entrance exam is. Now, be advised, the entrance exam is a one-dimensional snapshot of your son's educational progress. It does not encapsulate the whole boy. It is not intended to be a complete overview of all that he has accomplished over the last 8 years. So, if the scores were a little bit lower than you expected, remember, please do not panic. If the scores were a little higher than you expected, please do not spend too much time patting yourselves on the back, because remember, this is just a snapshot of what your son has been doing. Now, the results are somewhat self-explanatory. You've been reading standardized test scores for years now, but please let me call your attention to two sections. First, the rating section. If you'll look at the rating section, this demonstrates the percentile at which your son is currently being assessed compared to others who have taken this test nationally. Now, second, if you look at the middle left column marked GE, that stands for grade equivalency. So if your son scored, say, an 8.4 in the quantitative skills section, that means he is scoring as a boy in the 8th grade, 4th month would score. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of how he is being assessed so far. Now, again, we do not love standardized tests at this school. They are one-dimensional and they do not accurately depict all that your son is. But for the moment, they remain a necessary evil, and we will glean whatever information we can from the data that it provides. Now, we are going to shift gears, and we are going to go from academics to athletics. And so I'm pleased to introduce to you our athletic director, Mr. Tim Ezai.
All right, I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of the Catholic High Athletic Program. For you young men that are going to get involved in athletics at Catholic High, you're going to join a large number of young men already participating. Our eligibility roster this past year had over 350 boys involved. So as you guys hopefully will add to that and keep it increasing. All right, we are members of the Arkansas Activities Association, which governs all our sports and activities. We are members of the 7A Conference, which is the largest conference in the state of Arkansas. We've been in that conference since 1971. We've been by far the smallest in that conference since then, but we won 42 state championships in 7 different sports. So we feel like we hold our own pretty well. We are in the 7A Central Conference, which includes Little Rock Central, North Little Rock, Cabot, Conway, Bryant, Fort Smith Northside, and the new Little Rock Southwest High School, which you can hear from those names right there tells you we're in the toughest conference in the state of Arkansas. We offer 11 sports, which we play for state championships each year. Football, basketball, baseball, track, tennis, golf, wrestling, swimming, cross country, soccer, and bowling. We have many other non-sanctioned sports and activities to get involved in. Probably one of our biggest is our physical fitness team. These guys have won 5 national championships in a row now. It's very competitive. Many boys involved. We have many boys involved in lacrosse, rugby, mountain biking, trap shooting. So there's plenty of things for you to get involved with while you're here at Catholic High. During the open house, hopefully you toured through our athletic facilities. We're very proud of all the improvements we've made over the last 7 or 8 years. We're going to continue to improve while you're here. We're going to have tremendous facilities for you to practice and to train and to play in while you are here. Most importantly, though, we have a great coaching staff. We think it's the best in the state of Arkansas. Our coaches have tremendous experience. They are very passionate. They have a tremendous drive to make you the best athlete that they possibly can. But more so, they want to turn you into great student athletes. We have a couple examples right here with Grant and Jack. They went through this. But student athlete is one who can handle all the demands of the academics here at Catholic High, at the same time handling all the demands and hours involved with sports. So, and understand at Catholic High that academics always come first. For you guys who compete next year, we have a junior high conference that plays for conference championships in 2 sports, and that's football and basketball. In all other sports, you would have to compete. Since we don't have it in our junior high conference, it's the Central Arkansas Junior High Conference. You would have to compete in the other sports as a junior varsity or a varsity competitor. Okay, our conference, the Central Arkansas Junior High Conference, includes Cabot, that has 2 teams. Conway has 2. North Little Rock, Benton, Bryan, and Lake Hamilton. So, once again, the toughest junior high conference in the state, but it's going to get you ready for high school competition. Our fall sports include golf, tennis, football, and cross country. All are working out right now except tennis. Our tennis team will have tryouts after the first of the year. They're very successful. They've had 5 straight state championships, so very, very good group right there. Our winter sports are basketball, wrestling, bowling, and swimming. Tryouts generally will be early in the year, September or October. Spring sports include baseball, soccer, and track. We'll have tryouts usually by October and November for baseball and soccer. Track, we really don't have tryouts for that particular one. We're going to encourage you while you're here to get involved with as many sports and activities you can. We want you to be well-rounded. We want you to have fun while you're here, enjoy your experience. We're going to ask you if you're good enough to play as many sports as possible. We don't like the idea of specializing in one thing. So we want you to help as many of our teams as possible and enjoy yourself while you're here. And I guarantee that no coach at Catholic I will ever tell you you must play only one sport. Okay, let me talk a little bit about some housekeeping and some forms and things that we need to take care of. Now, the Arkansas Activity Association, I said we're a member of, they've partnered now with a group called Dragonfly. It's used in many states. Dragonfly is going to take the place of a lot of paperwork. First of all, what it means is that every student athlete will have to have an account with Dragonfly. Or at least one parent of a student athlete must have an account with Dragonfly. Ms. McWilliams will have the link on this video so you can look at it, go in there, and start you up an account. Like I said, what it's going to do is going to free up a lot of paperwork. You're going to be able to go to Dragonfly. They're still in the process of finishing it all up in Arkansas, so there'll be a few things that aren't there yet. But you'll be able to go and actually sign papers online, and they're, the AAA will now have record that you have read and signed these certain requirements. Okay, and that allows us to not have to do so much of that, sending papers home and trying to get them back and all those things. So that's one thing you'll definitely need to do as soon as possible. The next thing is our physicals. Okay, every student athlete must have a physical on file here at the school before he can compete, before he can try out for a sport. The physical form we use, you can get them in the office here. You can get them on our website. If you go to athletics, look under health and safety, and then look under physical forms. Okay, so you can make a copy of that. The important part about ours is that it has a history on the front, physical history. I would encourage all of you parents to fill this out for your son and send it to Ms. McWilliams. She's our health coordinator in the office. That way we've got an idea. If something goes wrong, something happens to your son, we got an idea what to look for. Okay. For athletes, also on the front there is a release that you need to sign, the parents need to sign, that's required by our superintendent of Catholic school. On the back's the actual physical forms. You would take this to the doctor or the clinic, and have them fill that out. When you turn it in to me, Tim Ezai, or to Mrs. McWilliams in the office. Don't give it to a coach, don't give it to anybody else, because we're the ones that's gonna file it and make sure you're checked off on Dragonfly and that your son is eligible. The one other thing we need to talk about, and this is for students that are coming from our non-feeder schools, that are coming from non-Catholic schools. That includes PA, Episcopal, Pulaski Heights, anybody like that. This is a changing school athletic participation form. It's a CSAP. This one's not yet on Dragonfly, so we've got them in the office. I've got some, the coaches will have them. You can find them on the Arkansas Activities Association website. It's listed under Forms and Resources. You would look down and go under CSAP. You would take this, you're going to have to, this is the important part, you got to take it to the previous school that your son's coming from. It's going to have to be filled out by an administrator, not a coach, not a teacher, signed. You're going to have to sign your part on the back, the parent form's on the back. There is a place for a notary if you want to have it notarized, or you can bring it to us when it's completed and we'll sign it. And then the other part on the front is where we fill out. So don't worry about that one, we'll fill it out when we get it. So we have to have that one. We have to have a copy sent to the AAA before your son will ever be able to play in a game if he's coming from one of these non-feeder schools. So really, that's all I've got today. I just want to welcome all you young men here. You can enjoy your time here. I want to thank you parents for sending your sons to us, and we'll take care of them for you. And I'd like to turn it back over to Mr. Strason.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate all your great work, and we look forward to working with you athletes. Now, registration, big question. That is going to occur for freshmen on Monday, August 3rd. Now, I'm going to send you an email listing the times, the exact times that you need to show up. But for now, just plan on Monday, August 3rd to come to Catholic High. Now, this is how the process is going to work. You will enter through the gym lobby doors. You will take a number. You'll go into the main gym, and you will be seated on one of the X's on the bleachers. There you will wait until your number is called. Then you will walk down the hallway and into the main study hall, where you will be seated on one of the desks with an X on it. You'll hear some information from Brother Richard and Mr. Dempsey, and then you will come into the library where you will confirm information. You will meet briefly with me or Mr. Dempsey, and then you will go through into the textbook room, where you will receive your Catholic High managed Chromebook and your textbooks and pay for them there. Then the Booster Club will be in the cafeteria with some limited Catholic High apparel. There will be some t-shirts and sweatshirts available for you to purchase at that time. Now again, I'm going to send an email with the details of registration in the next few days. If you want to do registration virtually, or set up an individual time by which you can come up and pick up textbooks and Chromebook and check your information, you may do that by emailing Mrs. Joan Finnegan, who is our registrar. So if you email her, you may set up a time outside of the current registration times that we're going to send to you shortly. Now, boys, this next one is for you. Our vice principal, Mr. Matt Dempsey, has a few words for you. Now, Mr. Dempsey.
Boys, I am Mr. Dempsey, your assistant principal. My job at freshman orientation is to talk to you about behavior expectations at Catholic High School. It's time for you to get acquainted with our behavior expectations. Regardless of what your behavior might have been in 8th grade, here's what you need to know. At Catholic High, we have our own expectations for behavior. We expect that you will obey the dress code. We expect that you will regularly get your hair cut. We expect that you will not disrupt class. We expect that you will show respect to all the adults and your fellow students on this campus. We expect that you will be prepared to attend to the business of learning every day. Those are our expectations. Now let me tell you what you can expect. You can expect that our teachers will hold you accountable to our rules. You can expect that we will not ignore any infraction, no matter how small it may seem. In other words, you can expect that any deviation from our rules will result in consequences proportional to the infraction. In fact, we specialize in consequences. After all, that's what life is all about. Every action in life has consequences, and until you learn that, you will not be ready to live your fullest version of yourself. Finally, boys, you need to look at August 17th as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to redefine yourself. No matter what your reputation has been for the last several years, this year is a chance to set a new reputation, to redefine yourself. Your teachers won't know your reputation. Most of your classmates won't know your reputation. This is an opportunity. Spend the next several weeks reflecting on what kind of young man you want to become while you're here at Catholic High School. Show up on August the 17th ready to earn that reputation.
Thank you, Mr. Dempsey. He does such a fine job as our Dean of Discipline here at Catholic High, so boys, you need to listen. Now, parents, we have something for you. It is my pleasure to introduce to you, it is my great honor to introduce to you the legend of Catholic High, the rector of Catholic High, Monsignor Lawrence Frederick. He has some words especially for you parents.
Welcome to Catholic High School, and thank you for entrusting your sons to us. We will do the best to help you in your duty as parents to prepare him for the future. In this time when nothing seems stable, it is up to you, the parents, to provide stability in your son's life. God gave him to you to make sure he would become a good man, a moral man, a man of faith, able to provide for himself and contribute to the community. You are the very first and best teachers of your sons. Under the conditions of today, it is easy to want to be friends with your son, but he has enough friends. You have to do the difficult thing and be his parents. So I encourage you to remember one thing. You are in charge in all things. Important to his growth, you make the decisions. Science tells us that his brain is not developed yet to the point of making good decisions. There's no need to explain your decisions. He would not understand the explanation anyways. He will not like your decisions, but it will not hurt him. He will make mistakes in many of his choices. And as difficult as it is, you must let him suffer the consequences of those bad choices. You have to teach him how to be a member of the family, showing respect and kindness to all members. And he has to have some chore in the family, which is a benefit to all of the family. You have to monitor his social media, his companions, and his other activities. He will not like it, and he will be embarrassed, but he will survive. Always remember that any bad choices your son makes is not a reflection upon you as a parent. Never let him make you lose faith in yourself as a parent. Do not be afraid to use the phrase, "because I told you so," or the very simple word, "no." You are providing stability in his life. This is important. You are in charge. Now I'm going to impart a blessing to the families. We bless your name, O Lord, and ask you to protect and watch over our families, so that in your grace they may enjoy prosperity, the gift of peace, and bear witness in this world to your glory. We ask this blessing of you, our Heavenly Father. Amen.
Thank you, Father Fred. Now, parents, boys, what is the coming year going to look like? That is the big question. Now, we have been planning for our reopening since we closed down in March. And we are doing things that we never had to do before. One of the reasons why this video is chopped up so much is because we had to sanitize the lectern between each speaker. We are going to take some strict health precautions as the school year gets started. Now, we strongly believe that the school year is going to start a little odd, but we believe it is going to end very close to normal. So we are going to make sure that our two primary goals, our two goals are paramount as we proceed. Safety for the students and the faculty, and then continuity of on-site instruction. If we keep safe, if we do the things that we are supposed to do, then we can mitigate the chances of school being shut down again like it was last spring. So we're going to require a lot of cooperation, and we are going to release our plan as soon as we get more guidance from the governor's office and the Department of Health. So thank you for your patience as we continue planning. Parents, you must know that it is a great honor for us to have the opportunity to teach your son. We know you have other choices, and we know that these are uncertain times, but the trust that you have given us is important to us, and we will not let you down. Boys, we look forward to seeing you on campus on August 17th at registration, if possible. We look forward to seeing those of you virtually who would prefer that option on August 17th. Either way, Catholic High School will be in session, and we are going to continue and promote the Catholic High experience. That concludes the freshman orientation meeting. Thank you all for your attention.